Alrighty fellas, something's changed, and I'm not going to say what it is, I'm just going to let the video play out, and it's something that I never thought might change, but what can I say? Something's changed. But never mind that, let's move on. This is a WA2000 sniper rifle, a WA2K, a Walther, whatever you might want to call it, it's a WA2000, but that's a bit of a pain in the ass to say, and I often like to shorten it down to the WA2K. I never really got used to calling it the Walther 2000, but apparently that's what it is. But now we've made the pronunciation even more of a pain in the ass because we've put an ACOG scope on it, the Advanced Combat Optical Gun Sight. So in total, we have the golden Walther 2000 with Advanced Combat Optical Gun Sight attached. No, fuck that. Let's go with the ACOG 2K. Right, the ACOG 2K. Is it any easier to use than it is to pronounce? Well, if you're not very familiar to this gun, then understandably it might look like a tricky piece of shit to try and use. I think maybe the best way I could describe this would be the halfway point between a PSG and an M14. Similar to both in the way that it's a snappy semi-auto, but it's PSG-like in the way that it's a sniper rifle with a potential one-shot kill anywhere on the map, and it's more M14-like in the way that you'll often find yourself requiring the second shot to kill, but it has so much ammo to work with that it's fairly easy to just continuously pound out shot after shot. And after hearing that, some of you might be thinking, well, surely that closely compares to the Dragunov, if anything, and I will strictly tell you, no. This is a lot more forgiving than the Dragunov is from my experience. The Dragunov is probably the biggest tease of a gun ever, in that it's a semi-auto which you're not allowed to spray, because it will get you killed. This thing, however, go for it, just spray it, it's fucking almost recoil-less. The amount of kick you get is so minimal that you're allowed to spam it. If you do miss the first shot, just put a second shot into him. If you require a third shot, a fourth shot, a fifth shot, whatever, all the way up to 12 shots. Go mental. That's what makes the WA2K stand out, is that it's so forgiving if you happen to miss a shot. With all that in mind, it would seem that the WA2K is much better built for a little more close-range sniping than all the other rifles. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it for quickscoping, but I'm talking more about just going on the edge of the fight, scoping in, and just giving it some of the trigger, which is something that you can't really do with the L96 because you can't keep up the fire. The WA2K, you can keep up the fire. You can keep it up fairly easy, like I've said, and I probably will say a lot more times throughout this vid. It's a very forgiving sniper if you need more than one shot. So how long can you keep up this continuous fire until you need a reload? How many rounds do you actually have to spend? By default, you get 6 rounds. If you go extended mags, you double it, you get 12. And 12 rounds is more than what the standard Dragunov magazine holds. It's also over half of what the M14 and the FAL have. So it can sustain firepower, it can keep you in a fight for quite a while before you eventually will have to back out and reload. However, while hammering the trigger and spitting out rounds left, right and centre does seem like the best approach and is almost encouraged by the way the gun behaves, you've got to keep in mind that the mass firepower approach can be your biggest enemy. The WA2K starts out with 24 rounds in total by default. Now if we had 24 rounds on our L96 by default, I probably wouldn't complain. I think that would be a nice healthy amount to go out with your bolt action, one hit kill, one shot at a time sniper. But that's not what we've got. What we've got is a WA2K. We have the rifle that encourages bullet after bullet after bullet. And with that approach you'll be running dry by the time you hit a napalm strike. Not ideal. That kind of ammo loadout is not exactly going to guarantee you a nice lifespan every time you go out with it. And I'm sure you all see where this is going. I'm sure you all know me well enough by now. Whack on some Scavenger Pro, get 60 rounds off the spawn plus infinity as long as you can find the corpses to provide them. Okay, so now we haven't got to worry about ammo anymore. What say we spice things up a little? What say we whack on an ACOG scope? Yeah, fucking right, let's go for it. Let's go out and have a blast. Is it any good? Sure enough, it's bloody good fun. We have WACOG 2K, and WACOG 2K, well, she's a nasty piece of work. If anything, she's violent. It encourages our get in there and give it some attitude, even more so than it did before. If anything, I'd say the only downside to having the ACOG on this is that it makes your long range sniping harder. But long range sniping in general with the WA2K is difficult anyway because, We're talking headshot, neck, and upper chest for one-shot kill. And even through a default sniper scope, that's a very small target and a pretty tough shot to land, and you'll find yourself needing to take some time to be able to land the one-shot kill from that kind of distance. Close to middle range is encouraged, and close to middle range is where this thing will actually operate best. So if you can throw an ACOG scope on top of that, that's just the icing on the cake. When you look at the WA2K's behaviour as a whole, the ACOG scope serves as a very nice complement to it. But that's not to say that the ACOG scope is necessary. I'm saying it's a nice thing to have. If I had to pick between extended mags and the ACOG scope, I would go with the extended mags every time. Fortunately, there's a perk that eliminates choice and lets us have the best of both. You will have to sacrifice a second perk slot, but it doesn't seem too bad because Warlord Pro is just a lovely attachment all round. Having an extra of each nade is just such a nice bonus to have that Warlord feels like a privilege to equip. I like it a lot. And to round it off, we're going with the best tier 3 perk in the entire game, Second Chance Pro. I'm just kidding, it's Tactical Mask Pro. And this triad of perks, Scavenger, Warlord and Tactical Mask, all pro'd up. They all complement each other greatly and they dish out some serious destruction, like one big happy family. And we're reaching the end for now, and I understand at the end of the last vid I suggested I would put up some M14 or MPL gameplay, but it was just yesterday I was playing about with the WA2K again and having to get this fun little game, so I thought I'd go with that. It was a very enjoyable game to play. But after this I'd like to go back to SMGs, so I'll have to rewatch the MPL gameplay because I admittedly don't remember it too well. I remember playing the game with it and then just hanging on to the gameplay afterwards. So I'll rewatch it and see if it is indeed a fun gameplay, and if it is, MPL will be next. But until then, this has been the WACOG 2K with the gold camo. I hope you enjoyed the game, and something's changed. I wonder if you know. You probably did know it, but I'll talk about it maybe in the next vid. Until then, I'll catch you later. Have a good day, and goodbye for now.